And I will be your host today on the Founders Odyssey podcast. And I have the pleasure and honor to be seated here next to Sean Miller and Conner Auten with Red Trailer. These gentlemen are budding entrepreneurs, and I wanted to have them on the show just to go through team collaborative partnerships and understand a little bit about their personal story to inspire you along your journey in life. So guys, let's start with an answer or with a question I'd love to ask is, what does entrepreneurship mean to you? We'll start with Sean and then we'll just kick it right over to you.
Well, first, thanks Nate. Thanks for having us on, man. It's a pleasure. Yeah. But entrepreneurship to me, it really means a lot just because I like being able to, really explore my passions and explore life in a way where you're not reliant on, someone else for your time. You can use your time however you please, and you can go about doing things that you've always wanted to do and stuff that you didn't even know you wanted to do that just comes about just because of the opportunities that entrepreneurship provides.
Yeah, to me, entrepreneurship has always been the only path. I feel like going into like a college system, education system in America is kind of designed to put you into one field, but there's a lot of problems out there that need to be solved, and entrepreneurship is great. The things that you're passionate about, problems that you care about seeing solved, you can use the skills and gifts that you have to actually make an impact versus just being stuck in, one lane feeling like you're helpless. You can actually go and make a difference and do things to change the world,
Well, I'd love to dive right into actually making a difference, because the business that you guys are running, and we'll get to that just a little bit later, but the business you're in, you guys really are making a difference, but you are changing the people that are working for you's lives as well. So share with us just a little bit about how you guys are making a small difference here with your business and how you find, how you see it growing.
Yeah, man. And our company motto at Red Trailer is spread the love. So before anything else, that's our mission is, spreading the love through how we interact with people, how we serve them, and just being able to, we take pride in offering quality food at quality prices. I think it should affect everything that you do in your business, but especially just giving people opportunities to have ownership. We have a structure within our business where people can have shares of the company where they're feeling like an owner. They can advance and use, they can make what they work for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the entrepreneur's dream right there, right? Yeah. It's like you can earn, if you work hard, you're going to earn what you're worth, right? And I truly believe in that. So share with us a little bit about, your background, Sean, and then also how you guys two met, and then now where you guys are at within your business.
Yeah. So originally I'm from Kansas City, and Conner, his dad, is from Kansas City. Okay. And so we ended up meeting up, playing baseball together back when we were in 5th grade. We were 10 or 11 years old, and we've been friends ever since. We didn't get to spend a lot of time together growing up because he grew up mostly in Indiana, so we kind of did our separate things. I went to college. I studied kinesiology. I was going to become a physical therapist or an athletic trainer. That's what I wanted to do. I love sports. But what it came down to was when I started talking to Conner, we were just thinking about, if we do that stuff, are we going to be able to make a lasting impact that we want to? Are we going to live the lives that we want to? And so, that's when I started to get drawn into entrepreneurship and wanting to, carve out my own life and not, the life that maybe I had thought about previously. And so Conner and I got together in 2019 when we first started doing business together, and we've tackled a number of things, tried to solve a number of problems, and I think we've learned a lot along the way about entrepreneurship, about ourselves, about each other, about working in partnership. So I think it's been a really, really positive journey all around. Yeah.
So how does working in tandem with somebody, right, that you have a friendship, because there's many entrepreneurs out there that I believe this is important to talk about, but you've got a vision, one person has a vision, the other person has a vision. So let's dive right into how to align those visions and then set those goals for you both to achieve them. What do you think?
That's a great question, because something we talk about a lot, because Sean and I are very different in the ways, like our strengths, but it comes together in a great way where he's great at a lot of things that I suck at and vice versa. And I think, a lot of people say don't mix business and friendship and don't do business with your friends. And I just feel like the only way to grow with people is just to love them. Like, I'd rather be friends with the people I'm in business with than just a stranger, just an arm's length relationship, It hurts more sometimes, when you have to deal with difficult situations, but that's just part of life. You just have to be able to work through things. I feel like it teaches you a lot with like personal relationships too. Just having we have the same end goal in mind. Like, we have shared values, shared mission, but have individual things that we want to do, individual things we're passionate about. But I feel like a lot of people will pick the vehicle before the destination. And it's like, if you want to, it depends on the life you want to live. If you want to have a life where, money's no issue, you can go where you want, you can do the things you want with your family, like a job was not going to get us there. Mm-hmm. And we wanted those things. So I think coming together with our different strengths, but having a collective, I think the values is where you have to meet. Like, the value system needs to be on the same page for it to be successful.
Yeah, because you've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll go through major ups and downs if they don't really have those values aligned at the very onset of a business. Do you guys have any like kind of a code of ethics of any kind that you have structured within the corporation that you guys are running right now?
We have core values in our business, and I think that basically is our guiding light with all the decisions we make. We try to instill the same core values in all of our people that we bring in. We look for that in them before we even bring them on.
What are those core values?
For us, I would say we're a faith-based company, so not necessarily we're looking for religious whatever, but people that exude the characteristics of love, just being a good servant, showing up with a smile, good attitude. And I think it was recently I heard that your attitude matters because it shows if you really believe that God's promises are true or not. And I think attitude is like one of the number one things that really reveals like how you truly feel about that. Like, because it's one of the few things that we have control over. Like, so many things going down that you can't control as an entrepreneur, but you can always control your attitude. It's how you show up, and no matter what's going on, you can still show up and see the good in things.
I think what we really look for our core values are belief, both belief in God and belief in the company itself, as well as, like you said, attitude is very important. How you attack each day, I think that really, really makes a big difference. And then on top of that, selflessness. We want people to come in. One thing we always tell our people is the single greatest human desire is to feel important. Mm-hmm. And so our mission is to go out and everyone that we possibly see, we want to make them feel important, because that's something that will be remembered. Above and beyond, us providing them with our products and services. Beyond that, if we can just make them feel important, then we feel like we've done our duty.
Let's talk about where you guys are currently at with the company, and then that'll help us set the stage with maybe some of the adversities that you face getting to the point where you're at right now, and then also some of the future that you see within the growth of Red Trailer shakeups. So we'll start with you, Sean, and kick it right over to you.
Yeah, so I feel like recently we've been making a lot of progress. We, like you said, we've had lots of adversity that, we can talk about. But in the present, we've definitely made a lot of headway in the last few months. We've been getting really established, building out our model so that it can be scaled on a large, scaled quickly all over the world. And so we've been building out our system in a way that, we can have as few people doing as much work as possible. that they're not overworked, that they know exactly what they should be doing, and they provide great value to us and to themselves and are fairly compensated for it. And they're also bought in on the business itself. We want all of our people to be, as bought in on what we believe in and what we're doing as we are, so that collectively we can achieve something greater than the sum of us. So I feel like our system has really been nailed down over these last couple months, and we feel really confident about where we're at and where we're going. And I'll pass it off to Conner from there.
Yeah, I would say our past season has been a season of alignment in the way that just preparing. We look at this business, and we already see it as a multi-billion-dollar company, and we try to look at it from, is what's happening in this single unit sustainable if it's duplicated across thousands of units? So the approach that we're taking now, as we're stepping back, putting more management in place and leadership, is just getting every process, which nothing's just going to be a straight, all the lights aren't going to be green when you leave your house. Like, you're going to have to adjust along the way, but you're going to have to, get a system in place, which we've been making a lot of progress in, of just where it can be duplicated to any city, any country, any state. They can go any place and be successful.
So how have you been able to, so I guess what I would ask is, where are you guys currently at in the scale of the company? And then also, how and what are you seeing with the systems now that you're putting in place that were different from the past?
Yeah, that's a great question, because this business originally started with just my grandparents as the operators, which they were very good operators, but it was very dependent on them being a good operator. And for it to be scaled and duplicated, it has to be available if you're not such a great operator. If can't be so dependent upon the individual in there. But currently we have 5 trailers in Indiana, 3 units in Australia, but we have a lot of markets that we have lined up, locations set out, that like over 100 across the country, that we're preparing to be able to stamp that model across all those cities and states. We're going to the UK later this year. We've been registered there for a little bit, going over to get operations set up. But it's just a simple business that, high volume, low markup. If you do good quality, good prices, good service, it'll be successful.
So share with me a little bit more about your perspective on systems, and how you've been able to scale to the current model, but also what systems do you think you'll need to put in place for the future, for those of you out there that are either franchise owners or wanted to get into some form of franchise. And then we'll also get into your actual ownership type as well.
So going off that, it's really been important. When we took over from his grandparents, they had a great system in place that was suited very well to what they wanted to do. And it worked very well. But when we came in, we wanted to say, okay, how can we take this system and make it so that it can be replicated thousands of times? And so when we thought about it that way, basically what it comes down to is you have to simplify everything. Got to make everything as simple as possible, to the point where a kid can do it, without issue, and they can figure it out. Anyone can be able to come in and follow the playbook and know exactly what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we've been going about making adjustments, is just how can we take this process, make it as simple as possible, simple and fast. Because when you're in the food business, the speed in which you can get out orders a lot of times is directly related to the volume in sales you're going to do. And so speed and efficiency and the simplicity of the process is really what we've been focusing on getting nailed down. And I think recently we've started to figure out a lot more over the last 2-3 months or so. Yeah.
I would say, as well as leadership development, being able to put, going from just my grandparents to 1 to several, to having markets, having the leadership in place, and being able to have a system of finding and developing those leaders so that they can sustain and lead markets successfully.
So do you guys have like monthly or weekly meetings with the management that's a part of the organization to have streamlined communication, or how do you guys structure that mission value culture?
Yeah, we do. We do meet weekly as well as we talk nearly every day with them. We obviously have group chats and this and that, but have a time that, we can come together and get our heads at least once a week and see what went well, what didn't, and what we can adjust to get better the next week.
So as far as other brands and businesses that are very similar in your field, who are some of the inspirations that you guys are gleaning from, and also the knowledge that you're able to retain?
Yeah. So I would say, we've taken a lot of inspiration. Obviously, in the mobile food industry, there's not a lot of big brands or anything that have been all over the country or the world for that matter. So I think we naturally look up to, like large food chains. I think specifically of Chick-fil-A and their model where they keep all their operations for the most part in-house, their recipes. They don't franchise regularly, normally like other businesses might. And they've scaled very efficiently and effectively. I think that's something, we want to have something like Chick-fil-A in a little trailer, but red trailer. So I think that's definitely been an inspiration for me.
I would say in addition to Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's. Because In-N-Out, with the way that they go into a market, they'll identify 5 to 10 locations, have a distribution center providing fresh products similar to us. Coca-Cola, with the distribution of the drink, like our lemon shake up, is also a product that we're working to have distributed into stores and gas stations. They've done great with the distribution. I mean, like 95% market cap, close to that across the world. People see the Coca-Cola logo, they know what it is. And then McDonald's, as low quality as their food is, they have locations everywhere. They're cheap, they're quick. I mean, you see the underbelly. Yeah, huge company.
Yep.
You see the underbelly at some locations that are not consistent, but as a whole, they have tons of locations and have done a great job with expansion.
Yep.
It's an exciting time to be with Red Trailers. So do you guys have a vision to see yourself or have, like you were saying, products in retail? Or is that one of the visions on the product roadmap?
Yeah, so I'd say we've thought about it from the beginning because, the whole business was really built on, at least from the start, from the foundation, was built on the shake-ups. That was the main product for a long, long time, and it still is our feature product. And we know that, it has the potential to be sold everywhere and anywhere. Lemonade is an internationally enjoyed product all around, and we feel our recipe can compete with anyone's. So I think bottling it and distributing it to grocery stores, gas stations, other restaurants, bars, whatever, I think it's all on the table. Yeah.
Well, look at it. You could do Red Trailer Foods, Red Trailer Shake-Ups, Red Trailer. Basically, just put Red Trailer in front of it and then put a name behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've recently sold some of the shake up to bars and restaurants to use as a mixture behind the counter, and things that they'll use. They can use it how they please, but we've recently started doing some wholesale and through selling it by the gallon to them as well.
So I think one of the questions that someone's going to ask as an entrepreneur, we need to dive into the numbers. So share with us some numbers on what does it cost to get started with a franchise. What's the margins? Can you make money with a trailer?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a common.
It's a valid
honestly,
question,
I feel like it's a common question.
It is.
But of course, there's
Yeah.
money we know to be made in these.
It's a valid question, and like Conner said earlier, our whole model is based on low markup but high volume, and so we stake our game on getting the volume because that's where the money is to be made. Because we like to bring in more customers that spend less. I'd rather have more customers spending less than less customers spending more when you're in the retail business. And so these trailers, we've been setting them up with limited partnerships. So essentially, someone will invest, we will buy the trailer, we will get it equipped with everything it needs, all the inventory, all the signage. We will staff, hire it, send it out to a spot, find events for it. We manage and run it completely, and then the limited partner receives passive income in the form of 50% of the net profit each month. And there is good money to be made. I mean, on average, I think our net profit margin is about 15%. So 15%, whatever our gross sales is for that month, is essentially what we are profiting, and then that's split between us and the investor. And for one trailer, what we sell it at is like $35,000, and that gives us everything we need to get a new trailer operational. And it takes not a maximum of 90 days. We like to put that back end time limit on it, but we internally try to get it ready in 30 days or less.
What kind of resources do you provide for the individual who owns the trailer, as far as marketing, as far as strategic locations for the trailer, or any type of training modules that the individuals can have?
So
what kind of support you guys have?
Essentially, we treat it as if it's another one of our units when we take on an investor. Mm-hmm. So, for example, we have a guy in Michigan. His name's Brad. He's actually reinvested recently, but he also got a trailer in June. He's had 5 payouts, about $8,000 that he's made from those payouts. So it's from his at least over $1,500 a month. And then we basically set up everything from the training. Like, it's one of the things that we really love is that the investors don't have to worry about a single aspect of operations. We provide reporting to them so they know what's going on, but the blood, sweat, and tears, that's all on us. Brad doesn't know anything about the late nights. He doesn't know anything about us cutting ourselves. Yeah. He doesn't know anything about having to fire people.
I hope you're not cutting yourself.
All of that, He doesn't know any of that.
Yeah.
All he knows is that we send him money at the beginning of every month, and he makes passive income.
So with the 50%, I think that's a generous cut, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think based on what you're saying, I think your vision for a generous cut is expansion, almost like the high quantity
of trailers,
of customers too. But high quantity of trailers, high quality quantity of customers.
Yeah.
But yet amazing customer service. So that's really going to get you the outcome that you're looking for. Yeah. And it sounds like your investor is going to be happy because basically you guys have all the systems.
Yeah.
Up and running.
And that's too, like, even if you might think it's a generous cut, it's worth it for us, because if the investor is willing to, if more so they're investing in us, in our system. They believe that if we add another trailer, we'll get it out operating and make it profitable. And we are confident that our system can do that, at scale, in new markets, in our current markets. We have ones in Australia that have been operating for over a year now, and it's going well over there as well. So it's been a great, opportunity both for us and for investors to have just a unique form of investment that is different than what's typically available out there.
Yeah, it's a blessing that honestly this even came to us, that it came to us so late in the company's history that we knew so much about running the business. We knew how to run it. We had no experience franchising. So naturally, and we love it, the 50%, that we can just say, hey, me and you, let's go in together and we're going to go out and make as much as we can. We're both getting an even split. Like, it's nice being aligned like that, as well as just being able to offer good returns to them. They can make their money back. I mean, I think
12, 14 months, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like.
I mean, it's probably going to vary depending on region, depending on product, depending on the amount of customers, but still, these type of businesses that you're in are extremely predictable.
Yeah.
And you guys probably know your price per customer, your price per fair or per whatever show or wherever you're at, I guarantee you should probably know your margins.
And our investors get an average annual ROI of 40%, and that's been as high as 60%. And so that's really what we want to, leave our hat on. We want to make sure that our investors are getting the best possible return on their investment. At the same time, we're running a tight ship. Our people are taken care of. They're happy, and in the end, everyone is benefiting. So that's our goal.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. So share with me a little bit about let's say the future. Okay, let's take about a minute to just cast a vision right now. You've got 1,000 units within the next 2 years. You think?
You want to start, Conner?
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to really tell you how I really feel about it, how I really feel about it, man, because my grandparents, I mean, they kept this under wraps for so long. They didn't want anyone knowing about what they're doing, or they didn't tell anybody about it. None of it. I was like probably out of high school before they even told me the recipe. Yeah. Like to make this shake up. And I tell people all the time, I did not want to do this business at all. Like, I helped them. I've been around this business since I was a little kid, but I was in finance. I was doing my own thing. Like, always loved entrepreneurship, but I was like, don't schedule me for the summers. Ask my grandparents, don't schedule me. I'm not helping this summer. I don't want to do it. And then we came back 2.5 years ago, and this was after my grandpa had passed, and we had kind of had some things in the works to expand a little bit. And we went to a festival and did over 25K in 6 days. And we were just like, man, this town has no money. Like, we just made this here. Like, we got to do something about this. And no one else in my family wanted to. Everyone else was done with it. So we had to do something. And it's been a journey figuring out how to practically expand that out in the steps. But we've gone through a lot of the hardships, the early just learning some of the initial things. And we're not limited by our own capital to expand. So as we learn how to systematically implement our system, like the better that we get at that, I truly believe that this business, whether it's a cart or a brick and mortar or a trailer, like I believe it will have over 100,000 units before it's done.
Okay. So back to this, you said 40%.
Yep.
Right. So like the average investment in like the S&P or any type of, investment is like what, 8 to 12%? I know, like, we're not making claims here because once again, it's going to be all relative.
Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you had somebody invested $1 million in your business, right? So a 40% return on that.
Yeah, they make 400,000 in a year.
That's 1.4 million.
Yep.
Okay, that's a pretty good investment.
Our goal is to make
Passive.
The best returns possible, so our investors can double their money, and also it's just so they can keep receiving money from it from the rest of their lives. We want to make sure that they're receiving income from this for as long as they live. As long as the business is alive, they'll be earning income.
Well, listen, the one thing I love about you guys is you've got this, like, you've got a servant attitude, but you've also got a hustle mentality, but you also are really thinking about a partnership that is going to benefit both sides. And what I believe is you guys you're just doubling down on that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's really going to start creating a solid foundation for what you guys have, and now throughout your trials and errors, you're going to be able to really duplicate, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Get proper leadership in place, and you guys are going to learn a lot along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're relatively young, so guys, how old are you?
I'm 26.
You're 26.
I'm 27.
27.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So you guys got the world at your fingertips, and we're excited to obviously be along the journey with you guys.
Absolutely.
Here at the Founders Odyssey podcast, and guys, if you like this episode today and you want to learn more about Conner and my guy out here, we got to make sure that you're in touch with them. So make sure, how do we help you guys out? Where do we find you?
So you can find us. Our website is redtrailerinc.com. Red Trailer Shakeups on Facebook and Instagram. But essentially, we don't like to be salesmen about it. We just like to take orders. Here's the offer. Anyone that wants passive income, we have a vehicle for you to get it. And we believe it's safer and it's going to return faster than any investment on the market.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. You're seeing the growth within this type of business, and as well with others that are experiencing it with you. So, once again, guys, if you like today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well as to share it with your friends. And until next time, make sure to continue to watch the other episodes as well as listen to the ones in the past. So, thanks a lot for joining us.